Not exactly what I wanted, but if not, I'll fire it up with this.
It feels good to see the world getting loose. Feels good to see the world getting loose. I don't know about you, Sack Noel. I don't know about you, Phenom. I don't know about you, White Shadow. I don't know about you, but I feel good.
I am definitely feeling good, and welcome all. It is Martinez Company. I am your host, Angel Martinez, of course, here on Sports Radio 102.9 FM The Game, also over on SR 1029thegame.com, brought to you by Broad Street South and the Coastal Sports Network. So we thank you all for tuning in this morning, and of course, Pete Chevrolet was just doing his morning show, and his guests were DeAndre Lou, Mia O'Brien, who's always nice enough to join us, even before she heads out there to Jacksonville, as she was meeting with Dougie P this morning. And, of course, Bill Sparrows from Boogies.com. And they were talking some Bruins talk as the Flyers finally took care of business up there in Boston. It's been a while since it's happened, but it's a good thing that it's happened there. Lightning, of course, ended up winning with Stamkos in the building. As DeAndre Lewis said, it was kind of tough because, listen, for those who are down here in the Tampa region and Florida altogether, obviously we know that the defending Stanley Cup champs are the Panthers, but Stamkos being around for as long as he was, it's tough. It's tough for, and as she mentioned, Coop said he wanted all the guys to be focused and not to be what's the word I'm looking for here? He didn't want for the team to be focused upon Stamkos' return, and she said she had no idea what he was going to end up being like. So it was good to see that he did come back into Amalie Arena. It won't be the last time, hopefully. Mm-hmm. But as he mentioned, it's not a goodbye. It's just a kind of a welcome home type deal. So thank you all. Don't forget you can call and text the show, 727-858-6650, 727-858-6650. And, of course, you can always watch us across these social media platforms, including kick.com. And you can always download the app two ways. One is if you visit sr1029thegame.com. It is right there on the homepage, right under the show banner. You guys will end up seeing, or the network banner, I should say. Two things you'll end up seeing up there. One will be the link over to the live shows, which has been switched over to the sports radio tab. So if you guys have the app, on the app itself, you'll see a sports radio tab under the menu, and right on the homepage, all you have to do is just click on that shortcut and it'll take you over there. And as well, for those who have not downloaded the app, you can always download the app either on the QR code screen that's right there in front of you, or visit the website and you guys can download it from there. So with that being said, I always thank Dylan for taking some time from his busy schedule as well. For those who don't know, he is now the head man in charge, I guess to put it in the best terms, at Auto Racing Digest, which is always a good thing as Dylan continues to move up. And Dylan, as we found out, also that the Tampa Bay Titans for the basketball league is also returning back. And for those who don't know, and if you're new here to the show, Dylan was the original OG behind the mic out there for the Tampa Bay Titans. So we'll see. Maybe, who knows? Just saying, maybe the Titans will welcome Dylan back, and it would be a nice time to hear Dylan calling some games back for the Tampa area, but we don't know as far as where they're going to play yet. That's all still yet to be determined. I would think possibly up there at Wesley Chapel at the Pasco Sports Complex. I forget the name of it exactly, but it's not that hard. But, it could be a possibility they're going to be up there. They'll be up that way. And then for those who also wanted to know, because I know a lot of people have inquired about the Wesley Chapel Kings, they will be playing next season, but there's still dates to be determined. They will not be part of the basketball league. Their league will actually start in May, so news from that will be coming out very shortly. And, of course, there was another signing, too, out in Indiana, as Indiana basketball for TBL continues to grow. So now they're fourth awarded team out there in Indiana. So lots of stuff going on, and it's good to see that David and Evelyn continue to succeed and grow. And good luck to the Tampa Bay Titans. We'll see. Maybe they'll end up packing the house. So it should be a good team market owner, which would be nice. And that would be that. And as far as the NBA, the Orlando Magic, young team, looking fine. As much as I goofed around with Dylan about it, I'm still not a fan of their mascot, which I just think it's ridiculous. But
their theme song, their 80s play the song, they've embraced it. I love it too. I love how they're embracing it now.
Yeah, but they got to change it. They got to change it.
They got a remix of it now. It's hip. It's cool.
Is it?
It is. It actually is pretty good. It's not bad.
I got
It's
a big
like it became like a big TikTok like social media thing. So
I gotta take a look at it because the last the
great.
I watched the game the other day, but it started the game already started, so maybe I missed it. The only thing, okay, one thing is it's nice when you go to the Kia Center. Don't get me wrong, it's really nice, but they have to just tune it down a bit when it comes to the music that's being pumped in there. Because even during a Predators game, and listen, I think their volume goes up to 10,000 and it doesn't hit 100. It goes up to like 10,000. And the bad part is if you're doing a broadcast, you can barely hear yourself during the broadcast because they pump it in so loud. And I was up pretty much in the rafters the last time trying to do so. But I know Orlando was the first one to play music in between transitions, going from offense to defense and stuff. I understand like every once in a while. Now it's just getting irritating. And I know the NBA is really trying to cater to a lot of the younger folks, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it gets to the point of like, okay, really? Do we really need to hear transitional music when you go from offense to defense and then back to defense to offense? I think it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, well, first off, here's my thing. At least with the Kia Center, I first off, I can never call it the Kia Center. I feel like I always am inclined to call it Amway. That's what I've known for 12 or 15 years, however long this building has been open. So, to me, this is always going to be the Amway Center. Obviously, the old arena used to be the Amway Arena when the that was during the Shaq era, and then obviously Dwight kind of closed out the arena when they went to the finals that one year in 2009. So but I do agree they are they do they get it popping in the Kia Center, if you will, and it's definitely a loud atmosphere. It's good that we have a competitive team. It's good that this area has a competitive team. I mean, um, you know, the one thing about the Orlando Magic that has been a problem is obviously the area, and the fan base is a little streaky when it comes to the way they support their team. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of other things to be doing in Orlando. There's theme parks, there's Disney, there's countless of other events going on within that area. So to have the Magic competitive again, to have a star like Paulo Banchero in the building each night. I mean, people know how big of a name he is and what he is going to become. Um, I think the Magic have a lot of exciting stuff on the way, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do this year. Again, they looked solid in the playoffs. I mean, they were able to come back and almost defeat a Cleveland Cavaliers team that looked like they were going to make a nice run in the NBA playoffs last year. So, hey, we'll see. Maybe the Magic can find a way now that they got that experience in the postseason. Maybe they can make a little bit of a run this year. We'll see.
I think so. I don't see why not. I mean, obviously within the last 2 years, and there was listen, there were some of the players who decided to go elsewhere because they just didn't believe. And we can all make fun of different teams. That's what we do as people. It's what we're gonna freaking end up doing. But the one thing that I will say, well, hold on, let me update something else here while we're talking. But the one thing I will say is that the Magic are doing the right things. They have put themselves in a good situation, and the fan base it's there. Basketball is alive and well here in the Tampa region, especially Orlando. Tampa would absolutely love to have, when the Raptors were here during COVID. It was a pretty good turnout, I will say. I mean, some folks obviously stayed away because they were scared, afraid, whatever you want to call it. But I'm pretty sure if you bring the Raptors back now that all that nonsense is over, I'm at least 92% certain that stadium would be packed. The Amalie Arena would be absolutely packed. But
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I would agree with that. I mean, basketball has a spot here in Tampa. It's
Mhm.
unfortunate because the Magic obviously have a hold in Orlando, and the NBA doesn't want to have a clash between Tampa and Orlando. I do think the rivalry would be great. I think rivalry aspect would be a lot of fun to have a Tampa Orlando rivalry. I still think if we got a team in Tampa, I would still probably root for the Magic just because they were kind of the original team, and they're still going to be my team no matter what happens. But I think if we were to bring back the Raptors, or if the Raptors, I think they could have had a big crowd if the time of when they were there was maybe a bit more I don't know, crowd friendly, if you will.
Yeah.
everybody knew what happened during the year that they came down to Tampa. It was unfortunate that it didn't were able to have more fans, because I think they would have. And right towards the end of the season, there were places that were starting to allow more fans coming into their arenas and stadiums. So it's a little bit of a disappointing thing, but we'll see. I mean, maybe one day we'll get a basketball team here in Tampa, but I think with the Magic kind of having a hold in this Central Florida area, I don't see it happening. It's just I think it's gonna be too tough.
I mean, it could. It definitely would be. I mean, obviously in up in Jacksonville, you don't have one yet, but you do have the Jacksonville 95ers from February till about June, if they make the playoffs. But yeah,
Down south.
yeah. Well, no, I was going to get to that too, as far as the Miami Heat. And by the way, Dwayne Wade was not too happy with that.
Oh my God, that statue was horrible. It did not look a lick like Dwayne Wade whatsoever.
It doesn't. And I think now it's certain things, and I'm going to bring up something here on Instagram too. Listen, Cowboy fans, we are in the same boat as you guys, but there is something, a gentleman, an Eagles fan, that had to put something together. So I'll bring up that video here momentarily, but including for your Jacksonville Jaguars, with another gentleman he did the Jaguars cha-cha slide, which I thought was kind of funny, but now you're with, I don't know what Miami was thinking. How do you, that's almost like, it would be like doing even Kobe an injustice if you were really screwed up that statue memorializing him. But there is zero resemblance whatsoever of Dwayne Wade. And then, some of these videos that come across is kind of funny because someone took what Dwayne Wade did not say. It was, they pretty much put it together, make it seem like obviously he was the one. He was talking about how much the statue doesn't look like him, absolutely is horrible. I won't use the words that obviously the person used in the video, but I thought it was kind of funny because it's probably what Miami Heat fans are feeling like, because just who designed that thing? Because there's absolute zero resemblance.
It's bad. And it's such a shame too, because I don't care what people say, Dwayne Wade is the all-time greatest Heat that's ever played in that franchise's history. I don't care if people say that LeBron was their best player or Alonzo Mourning. Dwayne Wade was one of the best Miami Heat players of all time. It's not even a question. I mean, he is like Mr. Heat, if you will, if there was ever kind of that analogy. And to do that to him, to make a statue that had no resemblance whatsoever, it looked nothing like Dwayne Wade. It looks like it just had no resemblance. It is such a disrespect to the fans, to the player in Dwayne Wade himself. And not only that, it makes the organization look dumb. I mean, it was not a very well done statue. I mean, the actual pose was cool, and maybe that was kind of the reason why it didn't look a ton like him, but I mean, it still didn't look like him facially even. It was very, very poorly executed. I hope that maybe they'll find a way to get it redone. I don't know if that will be something that they'll do soon, but I mean, I think it's a disservice to leave that statue the way it is for Dwayne Wade, the fans, and even for the organization. It just doesn't make a good look for the organization.
It doesn't. It's just, I mean, overall, it's so bad. It really doesn't make any sense. And I was trying to find the one video about it, as far as the guy who did the voiceover, but there's one video that I want to show here because I know it obviously it went complete viral, and for all the wrong reasons, because if you're going to do something, you might end up doing it right. So I'm going to bring up something here on the screen, but listen, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. Honestly, God, it really doesn't. And I feel bad for him. Honestly, I really do feel bad for him because it just, I don't even know what words to use other than just really freaking bad. Really, really freaking bad. I'll get to the comments here momentarily, but this is from Speak Live, and here's also too what they thought of the statue.
Paul. First of all, just to get a statue is a hell of an honor. I was just thinking, I played in an era where just about 3 or 4 guys got a statue, but they did my boy wrong. Come on, man. That's D-Wade. He the best Miami Heat player to ever play for the organization. I don't know. That ain't D Wade I played against. Not that face. I thought it was Tony Allen.
It's not. If anybody, if you have, I mean, you can't miss it. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. It honest to God, it doesn't. I don't know how many, Miami Heat fans are heated at this point, not to use the pun in a different term, but you just have to be. It just doesn't make any sense. It looks nothing like them. Matter of fact, if I can, there's a couple of pictures here where, of course, people are going to have fun with it, but they have this one here, which, I mean, let's see if I can, no, I can't put them both together. But they described the one look from it like, what's the name from The Mask? Jim Carrey, when the other guy turns into a whole different look. But I don't know. I just, to me, it makes absolutely no sense. Mm-hmm. But again, the artist got paid, I'm quite sure, millions for it. And just, it really, really does not look anything like him.
No, it's bad.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, and yes, the Magic right now are 3-1, I believe, for the season, 2-0 at home. Last I checked. And if you look at the Eastern Conference right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 4-0, Boston Celtics 4-0. The defending NBA champs, Orlando, 3-1 in third. They are 2-0 at home, 1-1 on the road. Miami Heat 2-1, Chicago Bulls 2-2, Atlanta Hawks 2-2. And then to wrap up the conference, you got the Wizards 1-2, Knicks 1-2, Sixers 1-2, and the Hornets at 1-2. That's your top 10 on the Eastern Conference side. And Sixers are in a boatload of hot water once again for all the wrong reasons. And I don't understand. First of all, it's $100,000 fine levied down from the NBA. And mostly because of the comments that went out there. How in the world do you state that now apparently, at first it was Joel Embiid, but now Paul George, I guess, where they won't play back-to-back games? I mean, it just can't. For the Sixers faithful, it really does become a pisser because year after year after year, we wait and we see, and what's going to happen. I understand, don't get me wrong, Patrick Gilroy was on with us yesterday on the Pete Shepard Show, but, listen, I get the injuries. I know he can't be everything, but at the same time, too, if the Sixers knew, if Josh Harris knew, and I guess maybe he's too busy now with the Redskins to figure out anything else, but if you knew you had zero intention, and I mean zero intention this season, but yet you wanted to go out there to the Olympics out in Paris to be able to win gold because it's probably the only championship you're ever going to win, and I hate to even say it as a Sixers fan, but to come out and say that you're not going to play in back-to-back games, yet you've still yet to show up. And the same way, how much are you going to burn out then Tyrese Maxey? And are we going to see him on the injury front? Because now it gets to the point of how much of a burnout are you going to make this man to be able to get this team together? And the whole situation with the Sixers, it's really going to be a super pisser situation because it makes no sense. And I know Pete had brought it up during the show, and I want to play it here because Nick Nurse was talked about as far as they asked some questions on what he thought on the whole situation with the Sixers. And it gets really irritating as we start out with the NBA here. But here's Nick Nurse in response to what was, with the $100,000 fine that goes to him.
Obviously, we have to worry about Joel and Paul. In terms of their participation in practice today, were they able to do any live 5-on-5 or anything like that today?
You guys got the update? They were in parts of practice. On we go.
It sounded like
sorry, apologies, but go ahead.
Sorry, it sounded like you guys went pretty hard for a good chunk of time today during practice. What was the focus, or what were we trying to hone in on?
Just trying to establish and maintain some type of identity and toughness of who we want to be and who we are and how we want to play, which finally showed up there 3 games in. Just staying on that track.
So you skip around the question for the most part. And I mean, and I'm saying, listen, I can't blame 100% on Nick Nurse of what goes on as he's trying to build a better culture like he did with the Raptors, the only championship, again, that the Raptors have ever had, thanks to Nick Nurse. But come on, man. It's to the point where how much is enough for the Sixers fans? And if you're a season ticket holder, it's like the same way with the Flyers. Flyers, now we all know, are in a rebuild mode. So I get it. But even Flyers fans who've endured so much, and remain season ticket holders as the prices keep going up. Because every year, the newer, bigger contracts that all these guys end up getting, those savings, of course, are passed on to season ticket holders, regular ticket holders. I mean, you name it, all that stuff keeps going up. Just like the parking. I don't, for the life of me, how you can't even. And Dylan, you're single, no kids, no nothing. And I mean, in order to go to some of these arenas, you're either paying $40, $50 to $100 just for parking, not even including the ticket price to get in there. So I'm just going to use you as an example. And matter of fact, I'll use you in the date. So now you're paying $40 for you and your date just for parking alone. Now, add the ticket prices that are no lower than $60 for most places. So add tags, and title, because you all know it's not $60. By the time it's all said and done, it's like $110 because they have to put all these goofy service fees and everything else. So now you're up to, let's see, $220, add the $42.60. That's not even including before you get in for any like beer, merchandise, food, nothing else. It just, as Sixers fans, it gets to be annoying because I just don't understand. Like, God bless the NBA. They're really trying to tread on NFL waters, meaning that they want to try to become this multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. But how? Sixers. I just want to know, how did Josh just decide to turn around and extend and beat, and then we get this dribbling nonsense? I mean, that fine they got was that extension salary that Embiid got. And I'm just done with him and the whole thing. Like, this trust the process. Trust the process. We're going to make the process better. It's all about the process. Bro, the process is done.
The process died a few years ago.
It did. We all know they tanked it. It's years later, but we all know what happened. They tanked it to get, who they wanted. So I'm just done with it. Duncan Dad, by the way, starts off with, and I'm going to get to Gas from Guy there in a second as well. He says, everyone at Kia Center getting tipsy, which, by the way, the remake to that song was actually really good. Then he follows up with making fun of the Sixers like kicking a clown who has fallen over and can't get up. It's so true. So true. Then he follows up with, they signed Joe B. They should sign Joey B for that matter, too. Eagles parking at the link starts at $50. That's what I mean. See, that's what I mean. Come on. It gets to be ridiculous. Penguin Z, good morning, fellas. Good morning, Penguin AZ. And Duncan Data had said a good word. Hold on, let me go back. A great coupon for parking tonight. Dinner 15% off meal, $10 parking, Duncan win. Yeah, it is. If you can actually get that one as the boys exchange pleasantry back and forth. And it says, Rick Marcus says, morning, Team Martinez. Morning, Rick. And I want to make sure that the pleasantries up there are exchanged. Then Duncan Dad says, and they drafted Markelle Fultz, the process. Yeah. And let's not forget, too, before the process even happened was Andrew Bynum and that big bust of what ended up happening.
Oh, God, I forgot that guy. Yes.
Yeah. Dude, he basically came in there and stole a paycheck from the Sixers. Then he had the audacity, while he was injured, to go bowling. Like he was not going to be recognized. And then he was ousted. It's like when social media started pretty much, getting into its height. People were like, wait a minute, so you can't play on the court, but you can go out and bowl in Center City?
Hey, nothing wrong about going bowling, man. Maybe you wanted to be a professional bowler, PBR.
No, listen, no.
Isn't that what it is? PBA, my bad.
Yeah,
PBR.
you're talking about a rodeo.
Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you might have not been too bad there. You could have been a rodeo clown.
That's what Embiid is right now, is a rodeo clown with all the nonsense he's spewing out. I can't listen. The NBA's got to, at one point or another, you got to stop with these guys making their own rules, because again, you want the fans to come out and support your team. Now you have, again, Orlando Magic for many, many years. Here the folks in Florida had to go through the ups and downs. Everybody knew it. Now they're finally starting to get on the upside, on that swing side. Other than me just saying about the music over there at the Kia Center, but now they got to get a little bit. They're getting there. There still might be, I would say, a forward or center away from being able to make a good deep run in the playoffs. But we'll see. And then the Knicks last night thought, the Brooklyn Nets, who thought they were going to win last night, and they had who's their over fraud that went over there, got traded. Well, I can't remember that freaking dum-dum's name. But anyways, he was on freaking camera.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He's on camera last night throwing his hands up like they're about to win the NBA championship, and then Denver showed him who their daddy was. So that's another team. That's ridiculous. Duncan Dad says, what's worse, Sixers process or Jordan as a GM? I mean, MJ, apologies.
Hey, Jordan as a GM in NASCAR looked pretty good this weekend. He got his driver in the championship. So
No, not Durant. Duncan Dad. Dum who left, got traded from the Sixers up there. You know, I have mental health issues. I got this issue, I got that issue. And then come to find out it was all freaking baloney anyways.
James Harden.
No. Jesus Christ, why can't I remember
James
this?
Harden has mental health issues too. Oh, Ben Simmons.
There you go. Ben Simmons, that freaking character.
He's on the Brooklyn Nets now, so.
Yeah, I know. That's why I mentioned it. That's why I said that's exactly where he is. He's another one. Another freaking clown. Jordan the GOAT.
He is a GOAT.
Yep, he is.
Won his first NASCAR championship in 2 weeks.
Exactly. See, even Duncan Dad agrees. He said we don't speak his name. He's talking about Ben Simmons, and then he throws the obviously the throwing up emoji because he's another one. Like, don't listen. There's people obviously out here that actually have issues, whether it's health issues. You know, there's a lot of folks that come out from the military post-traumatic stress when it comes to from the military, and there's people that serve. You got nurses, doctors, there's all kinds of people that deal with all kinds of stuff. Like, those are the folks that you really feel for because they're the ones that actually may not seek the help because they think everything is fine until it's either to the very end. But you got this one claiming that, I have this problem, I have that. No, you had Kardashian issues. That's what you had. And you're still having Kardashian issues, but whatever. Because anything those guys ever touch never turns to gold anyways. I don't know how people believe in anything they sell, but whatever's. That's a whole different story for a whole different day. But we will also get into, as you had just mentioned there, when it comes to racing, 2311, you have Denny Hamlin, who almost, he's in it for one more week, almost missed out on it again. So we'll get into that. A couple other things here. We got to take our first break because if not, another show will cruise by and I won't have the sponsors come in that pay the bills here. Duncan Dad. So, I got to get to Gaspam Guy as well before I forget. He says, took the very real mental health issue and made $25 million on a bench. Loser. Yep, sure did. He sure did. And listen, you guys, if you're the first time you ever tune in here, don't just go by our word. Just research it yourself. And you'll see there was a video he actually came out with and basically was like, oops, I was supposed to let that cat out of the bag. Gaspam Guy says, good morning, Dylan Angel. What's the guest list looking like? Maybe I can get on some point. You will. You definitely will, Gaspam Guy. All right. Yeah, want to make sure I went back to that one. You definitely will. Hopefully, the only tough part is when we have, obviously, like we have our Monday and Friday, we have our party line. The tough part is when you start having tons of folks up there on the screen. There's a lot of stuff that I have to end up doing to make it work. But I will definitely get you on there. I know Fuji used to be on as well. So there'll be a rotation of folks as well. Duncan Dad, who normally pops in with us as well. And I appreciate every time he's able to come in. But we're going to go with our first break here before we will blow by it. If you guys want to call or text the show, you can do so at 727-858-6650. 727-858-6650. By the way, there is an exhibition game tonight at the Yuengling Center. Edward Waters exhibition team coming up, or obviously University, but the team coming up tonight, that will be at 7 p.m. at the Yuengling Center. And then don't forget, coming up on Saturday, there will be the celebration of life for Coach Raheem. You guys see his picture up there. It'll be up there all basketball season. Coach Raheem will be, they'll have a celebration of life for him at the Yuengling Center. And then I'm assuming, Dylan, probably like yourself, there'll be something, I would think, bigger coming up on the home opener next week. And that's that'll be on Tuesday against Arkansas. So that'll be pretty big. So just, again, life cut too short. All right, we're going to take our first break here. When we come back, we'll get a little bit into the racing side of the world. Dylan will also let you guys know what he's been doing as far as on the racing side, so everybody can get caught up with what Dylan's been up to. Other than
you got a bit of an announcement with me as well.
That you're fired? Yes. Everybody, those who don't know, Dylan will be fired at the end of the show. So there's your announcement. All right.
Well, not where I was going, but
no, of course not. But I've known Dylan since he's been 14. He was this tiny when I first met him, and then he blossomed into a 21-year-old.
It's
For
funny.
those-
It is kind of true. So
It is no, but you were definitely not as tall as you are now. You had a little shorter distance to you when I first met you. But nah, listen, I'll say it after the break. Let me take the break first. I'll get into it as far as with Dylan because it's always a good time with Dylan while he's on with me and while he takes time away from USF. But you guys can, as I mentioned, text or call the show, make your comments live on the social medias. Don't forget you can download the app 2 different ways. As I mentioned at the top of the show here, QR code right up on the screen. Take your phone, put it up there, and you can download the app and or visit sr1029thegame.com, and you can download it that way as well. So after I'll get back into the comments here, but we are taking a first break. You are listening to Martinez Company here live on the Coastal Sports Network and Sports Radio 102.9 FM. The Game. We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jim and the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our second location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu. Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced Chardonnay.
Phil Castanetti Sports World in Saugus, Massachusetts is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. For over 35 years, Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectibles. Last month, you might remember Tim Thomas, legendary Bruins goalie, returned on October 5th. What a turnout it was. And now a new event coming up. On Saturday, November 30th, it's Willie O'Ree, yes, the original Jackie Robinson of the National Hockey League. He'll be signing autographs to the public, $25 each. There'll be photos, pucks, and cards available. Phone orders are welcome. Just call 781-233-7222 for more information. Sports World in Saugus. Be there.
Ion Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, iontp.com. Ion Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Ion Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
I'm wide awake, and all the voices in my head wanna play. You're gonna take me to the place where the bass and all the hidden ways unfold. Rhythms and lights get together. I'm wide awake.
Yes, and we hope that all of you guys are wide awake as well. And one of these days, I'm going to bring up a little side camera so you guys can see what the clown was doing during the break. He's jamming to Jimmy's commercial. As I know it's one of the favorites. I know, I get it, I understand it. As Dylan was bouncing around like a clown there behind the scenes. And you guys, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and I wish I could end up showing, but I try not to put people on the spot just in case. But nonetheless, you are listening to Martinez Company. I am Angel Martinez, host here and CEO of Sports Radio 102.9 FM The Game. Of course, the Coastal Sports Network. Broad Street South, the company that started all about 5 years ago. Ironically, which is, I can't even believe it's been that far along, that quick.
Year anniversary.
Huh?
5-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. As we hit it here, it's freaking nuts. But hey, listen, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm absolutely stoked about it. It's good to also be teaming up with USF to try and get more coverage for the women. By the way, their next game is coming up November 4th. I'll get into that in a little bit, which I hope this team, as resilient as they have been, to me, I think Senorita Galaxia should be in the running for goalkeeper of the year. If not, I'm just going to create an award and just hand it to her as well, because what an outstanding season that she's had. She will be back next season as well, which is really good to see. Tampa Bay Sun Football Club, they'll be back home here shortly as well, as they have been on the road.
This weekend, I think.
I believe so. So yeah, it's going to be. There's so much just stuff that's going on here in the Tampa Bay region. And then they're having an open practice, I believe, the first full week in November for the first time for the public. And I think it's either 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll have to get some more info about that as well and then share it out with everybody. But they're going to be having open practice. So if you guys love soccer, you want to meet the team, I'm not certain if they'll be doing any kind of autographs, stuff like that, but you never know during the open practice. So that'll be coming up here for the Tampa Bay Sun Football Club. Penguin AZ says, I want to get into the party too. Listen, I'm trying to make as many seats as available. Dylan gets fired on his day off. Yep, it's just going to be like Friday. Exactly like Friday. That's exactly what it's going to be.
Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Babysitter Angel, yep, that's what I have to do with this one over here. And then see football as those where I'm trying. There's so many different avenues that I'm trying here. It's just a lot of stuff. Being one person, it's absolutely freaking, absolutely crazy. I just got a message, so I have to respond back to that afterwards, after the show's over. But no, so for those who don't know, if you're brand new here to the show, welcome. Thank you, first of all. But I've known Dylan now for a few years, and actually it feels like I met the kid when he was 14, because at the time when I met Dylan was in school locally with PHSC, calls very good baseball games overall as a broadcaster. Now, I know I goof around a lot with Dylan, but I will say, if you guys have never caught one of his broadcasts or listened to one of his broadcasts, he does a really, really, really good, outstanding job done in the Blue Jays, just saying. He does a really good job. And to me personally, for how he puts the game together, how he sounds, he's always ready, meaning that he has all the facts, the info, everything that you possibly need. All you have to do is you can go to a Tampa Bay Titans game. Matter of fact, close your eyes and sit next to us and hear Dylan. And it's like catching all the action just through your ears. He does an outstanding job. So hopefully, if the new Titans owner is listening in, hopefully you guys will have him behind the mic once again as a broadcaster. But when I met Dylan was starting to kind of like do his own little growth. He's had now, the reason why I say 14, because that's when he started with his podcast, when he started talking about baseball. So he's been growing by leaps and bounds himself, and still figuring out ways and avenues to push his career to self-stardom. But he covered Daytona, if you guys had missed it this year, which was really, really cool for him to do so. And then obviously we got not too far away. We have Daytona in February. We had 2 weeks left in the regular NASCAR season, but you also have other events that are coming up, Dylan. So if you want to, before I get into the other announcement, if you want to talk about as far as what you've been up to and now the ownership that you have.
Yeah, so earlier this month, I officially took over Auto Racing Digest, which is run through Athlon Sports. So I'm obviously very excited to be having kind of my ownership of the site. My old owner was named Jerry Bonkowski. He's been writing for NASCAR and in terms of sports for about 30 years now. So he's got a really big following in terms of what he was doing. So but he's still involved with us, which is great. We still have the name and the clout behind him, so which is huge for us. But we're consistently and constantly growing. Obviously, first month in, we've been able to do a lot of big interviews. We just had Chad Fincham on, who raced in the Cup Series, and MBM Motorsports reposted our interview with him. We had an interview with Colin Braun, who's with Meyershank Racing. They actually reposted our interview as well. That got a lot of big hits. We've done a lot of intriguing stuff. We had Homestead this past weekend, which was a lot of fun. This weekend, we're going to be at HSR at Daytona, which is historical sports car racing, which will feature Jim Farley, who's the CEO of Ford, and a bunch of other big names as well will be there. So I'm really excited for that. And then we have IMSA testing in a few weeks. And for people who, I guess we haven't really made any official announcement, but Angel will be joining me for the weekend and also potentially for some other events down the road, as he'll be kind of joining our site as a contributor slash maybe podcaster. We'll figure out the official name for you, Angel, my friend, but we're excited to have you join the team, and obviously we're a growing site, and hopefully people will get to check some of our stuff out. But we're very busy these next few weeks, and we got Formula E coming back here in a few weeks as well. It's going to be a wild handful of weeks for me, so I'm very excited for what's to come. And the racing season never ends; it's always a race each weekend, so it's going to be quite a wild couple of weeks here coming up.
No, there is. Motorsports never stops. I mean, no matter which way you look at it, and even the guys from NASCAR can tell you that a lot of them only take off about a week when the season's over, and then before you know it, it's time to start up again because January starts testing. I mean, you figured it's October, 2 more weeks will be in November. Well, not 2 more weeks, excuse me, at the end of the week, but 2 more weeks left in NASCAR season before they end up taking off. It'll be the championship race out there in Phoenix, and then most of those guys take off at the max, maybe like 2 weeks. And it's just to try to, re-energize the body, get themselves fit all over again, because then testing starts. I mean, Dale Earnhardt Jr. talked about it a lot. He said that he felt when he was racing, it was just nonstop. Dale Sr. never took any time off. He was constantly just, testing new cars, figuring out how the setup was going to end up being. So it'll be another, I guess, feather in the cap when it comes to motorsports, working with Dylan a little bit more. And as we are trying to put together here a possibility of a show coming up in about 2 weeks, maybe from the 3 to 4 o'clock hour, from 3 to 4 p.m. on a Wednesday. So we're just trying to iron out a couple things. As obviously there's a lineup of shows and stuff that are going on here at the network. So we're trying to get that situated. Once we get it situated, we'll put out a message up there. Also, don't forget to follow Dylan as he finally changed his Twitter handle to now D_Spalding3. Now, the only thing I wish, once again, even though that's not too bad, I'll give you that one, but I just thought maybe, you would come up with something a little more creative or something else. But, I get it. I understand it. I get it. There is like 1 or 2 Dylan Spaldings that I did see. So, and you're not a junior, so it would have made no sense to put like Dylan Spalding Jr. But
some people used to call me Junior back in like when I was like super young. So, I mean, I guess I could have done that as like a joke more so. I could have done Spalding Media as my Twitter name. So maybe down the road if I did, but I think Spalding3 is good. It's kind of my, I don't know, personal 3 is always kind of been my lucky number. So I wanted to add my 3 in there. Also Bryce Harper decided to choose for 3. So that kind of went into that as well. But, I'm really happy to have you join our team, Angel. I think you're going to be a great addition. Obviously, I know how much work you put into Broad Street South and to Coastal Sports Network with everything you're doing here. So to have you involved with me and my motorsports journey and us building our site up as well, that's going to be a huge help. And I'm excited to get you involved with some races here coming up. And we may be at testing here in a few weeks for him. So that's going to be exciting. So I'm looking forward to having you there as well.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. We're hoping that Dylan will be back at Daytona. What I'm hoping for is that myself and my beautiful wife will be up there as well for coverage from in February. But let's hope, God willing, everything will come to place the way it should. By the way, going back to some of the comments here, Duncan says that's awesome. Drop the link. He was talking about obviously your Auto Racing Digest. Penguin Z says congratulations, Dylan. Duncan Dad follows up with, got to call my guy Kurt Busch and send him your way. There you go. Call him up. Let him know. Team Intimidator, for those who don't know, the late great Dale Earnhardt, number 3 will always be around forever. And then, yes, that is Dylan's new. So if you guys want to follow him on Twitter and Instagram, that's his new one there, as Duncan Dad put together. D_Spalding3.
This is my photo I got, by the way. I don't know if it's going to be able to be shown here. It might be too tough. But there's Kyle Larson. And then up there, if I can get it, that's MJ.
Yep.
From the video I shot a few days ago. So it's cool, man. Getting to be at some of these tracks, seeing all the celebrities, seeing MJ. I was sitting right in front of Dave Portnoy. Obviously, everybody knows who that is, the owner of Barstool Sports. Yeah, he was sitting right behind me in the cafeteria room. So listen, you get to being around racing. You see a lot of interesting celebs. It's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun. So it's a good time, and I'm excited to do more coverage. So, and Duncan Dad obviously giving me the fire. Duncan Dad, maybe we'll have to get you on for a show for some racing. I don't know how much racing you know, but we could definitely use the juices. Maybe it could be the Duncan Dash.
Listen, he knows everything. Did you not? Oh, you missed it. The other day he was actually in his NASCAR flying out to. He did me a solid. He went over there to Jersey to go talk to Josh Harris and explain to him what the Sixers aren't doing right. So he delivered a package for me. So I thank Duncan Dad for doing so. Gaspon guy says, good for you, Dylan, doing big things. And he is. Dylan, he's very, very, he's young, very good guy, always constantly doing stuff. I just wish Dunedin. I'm just going to leave this out there, Dunedin. just put him behind the mic. Just throwing that out there. Right? Don't let the man go. I'm just saying, put it out there. But I don't know if you'll be back there again with all the stuff you got going on this year.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a lot.
It's gonna be a while.
With the fire emojis, and then Duncan that says Harry Gant, skull old. Yeah, very old. Then I remember when. There's a lot of folks that need to watch NASCAR back in the day to understand a lot of sponsors used to be up there. Not to even include when it was the Winston Cup. Now, God forbid, someone shows up with a cigarette somewhere. But
they were a sponsor technically. Auto Racing Digest and Spalding Media is a sponsor, sort of.
But you're right.
We're on a car.
Yeah. Now, I did kind of tease with this, and by the way, no, I goof around about a lot of stuff, but Dylan's stuff will be up on the site as well. There'll be a link to his link so that you guys can all see exactly what's going on there, as much as I work other stuff that I put in there. But I want to bring this up, and hopefully, and again, Cowboys fans, there's two. One video that I do want to show. Yeah, it's always going to be the Winston Cup. You're absolutely right, Duncan Dad. No matter what. What was the Spring Cup? It was for a while when Sprint and Nextel were kind of going back and forth, and then that turned out to be somewhat okay. But I want to bring this up, and I don't know if I'll be able to. Give me a second. I will pause this. Share this up on the screen now. As much as we like to make fun of our own Eagles, as much as obviously I like to make fun of the Dallas Cowboys, this one was even better. I came across this on Instagram, and I believe the gentleman's name is Robert Williams, obviously an Eagles fan, but I thought it was pretty funny put by him and the Cowboys.
Dallas Cowgirls had a game yesterday against the Saints of New Orleans. They scored TD after TD, but it wouldn't stop. The Saints just kept on scoring. Oh, the QB threw the ball and everyone said, "No, Dak. You ought to know by now. And if you throw more picks, don't you worry about it. At least you got $240 million. And it seems like a waste of time because the team's on the drought. Good luck this year, but you just got blown out. You got blown out. Jerry.
That's you got to be pretty creative.
That's talent. That's fantastic. Those are really good.
Say what you want to say, but that's pretty creative. So I like that one.
Ending Jerry. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I also like too of the blown out type deal. And another thing I'm gonna try and add here to the different segments of the show is whatever unique stuff I end up finding over in IG, I'll bring it up for you guys. Some of the stuff, obviously, I find it, or I laugh at other people's expense, and I don't mean anything bad from it. It's just some people put some really good videos together, and then some other ones don't make absolutely any sense whatsoever. But there is one here too about the Jaguars, and I know the Jaguars are going through it. I get it. You know, Mia had mentioned it, and we're all waiting to see what's going to happen with Dougie P, because a lot of people either believe that Trevor Lawrence is still good, and some other ones believe that maybe he's not so good. Coach Belichick had talked about it on the Pat McAfee show that he believes that it's not Trevor Lawrence, but it's actually, and he's never called out any head coach, but he called out basically Dougie P, saying maybe he's the one that hasn't gotten Trevor Lawrence to really shine. But again, listen, jury's still out there. We'll never know, but we'll find out. Penguin AZ laughed about that one. I thought it was good. And Duncan Dad says moving out, which that definitely will become an instant classic. And then, I do like when he said Dak. That was pretty creative. But I want to bring up this other one here. Now, this gentleman did one for the Jaguars. And it's rare that you find back-to-back where people actually do a really good job here. But this was from Eric V. Dunn. Again, hopefully that is the one that created and made this video. But this is actually pretty good. This is at the Jaguars' expense. Jacksonville fans, don't get mad at me. This is one of your own that live right in your area, one of your own fans. But I just thought it was good.
The new, the Losing Song Part 2, featuring other cool Jags fans. And this time, we're gonna get funky. Funky. Everybody clap your hands. Clap, clap, clap your hands. Losing ass team. Clap, 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 clap your hands. All right, now we're gonna do a little recap. To the south, that's a loss now, y'all. One loss this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. It's Trevor Bank time. Jags lost again. Monday night, got the Bills now, y'all. 3 L's this time. Right foot, let's stomp. Left foot, let's stomp. Jags lost now, y'all. Now it's time to get funky. CJ Stroud now. We took a lead. Stop the 4th down, y'all. Another loss this time. Another loss this time. Right foot, 2 stomps. Left foot, 2 stomps. L's to the left. L's to the right. Throwbacks. Throwbacks. Cha-cha real smooth, y'all. Man, damn, this fucking hurts.
So another, listen, you guys, some of these guys get pretty creative. Now, who would have thought you could turn the cha-cha into that? And I like when he says L's to the left, L's to the right. So
You like my creativity in the process too?
yeah, pretty. Listen, you have to be. This is where you got to take away. Everybody gets upset with their teams. Don't get me wrong. We all do. Patriots fans go through. Although they celebrate obviously the win against the Jets, but we all go through it. You got to find ways to be creative and not take it too much to heart, because in the end, if we're fans, broadcast, media, it doesn't matter. We don't get paid like these guys do to be on the team who actually have to go through it. And they're earning their paychecks. The problem is, as a fan base, collectively, it gets a little bit irritating just because we know that they can do better. But, it is unfortunate what it is. Now, the last thing before I move on to other things as well, another kind of creative one that I found here on IG, and then this guy, some people turn out to be, everybody tries to find their little niche per se. And this guy found a way to come up with another kind of creative video. And the reason why I thought about this was because Chef Derek Fox, whose podcast will be up shortly up on the digital radio platform, I thought this guy was pretty creative the way he did his stuff here. And it's rare that someone with a beat or yet alone put 2 different type deals together. But this will make a lot of sense for you guys. Hear and watch this.
What's wrong? I don't know, man. The beat is amazing. I don't know what to say. Jeez. What's wrong with you?
He joined a culinary class to try to impress this girl, but she ended up going with the, what's it called? Sous chef.
What's a sous chef?
It's like the assistant chef, right?
Oh, well, just become the head chef. Win her back.
How do I do that? Just got to keep cooking, man.
Walk right back in there. Show them who's boss.
All right. Let me cook.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Oh, you taking, huh? Funny how I see y'all breaking up.
Wanna make sure you choose best. He a sous chef? Hold up.
Let me cook. I ain't in the kitchen, but I still cook dishes.
5-course meal, want some, come get it.
I've been on the road, yeah, I've been Michelin.
Everything I dish, 3-star Michelin. Cut through like butter with a hot knife.
3 blacks, 2 kids, and a hot wife.
Mama said don't say it if it's not nice.
I ain't gonna say it.
I'm optimistic.
Why you so picky?
Try not to nitpick.
This ain't no fast food.
This ain't no picnic.
Hop off my wave, girl.
This ain't your ripstick. Whoa. Am I too saucy? Am I too frosty? That's 2 yeses.
I love your body, lipstick glossy. Chef's kiss. Oh, you taking, huh?
Again, gotta get creative. Gotta get pretty creative. I love, number one, for those who don't know, obviously, absolutely love club music. I love someone with a good beat. And that was actually pretty good, pretty creative to get yourself out there. Not only as you put yourself out there as a chef, and who knows if he is or not. By the way, that was Connor Price as well. So I make sure I give these guys their proper accolades. But some things you just have to take a look and say, man, these guys do a pretty good job. So a different kind of spin here, obviously, on the show.
I've made my own song before too. Actually, I made an AI song about Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Oh boy, do I want to hear this?
Yeah, is there a way to play it? Do you know?
Is it on your Instagram?
No, but I can download the song.
It's okay. Is it, first of all, if it's beyond cringeworthy, because I don't want anybody tuning out, is it
No, it's
beyond
good. It's a
cringeworthy?
good song. It's good. It sounds good. I like it.
I don't know. Try to send it to me. I'll try to see what I can do as far as to be able to play it. We'll see. Duncan Ned says I ain't gonna say it, and as he's laughing about the last segment we just ended up playing there, the last guy up there, and then Penguin AZ says play it. So I have no. I can. First of all, how long has it been since you created this supposed song?
It's been about a week.
Oh Jesus. I don't know. If you find it, maybe try sending it through Messenger, and I'll see what I can possibly do from that point on. But this is.
I just downloaded. I'll send it to you through email. How about that?
All right, let's see if it plays. All right. So the other thing which I find kind of interesting is we start out kind of with the NBA. This hire here, I'm not too sure if it makes a bunch of sense. And I'm trying to figure out, I've yet to ask my wife about this one here to see what her thoughts are. And she is going to be, one of these days, I'm going to have her here on the studio couch and have her up here so she can have fun with the rest of us here. She keeps teasing at it, but I know it's going to come up there. Not bare-nailed ladies 1 week. Yeah. Which is not the bare naked ladies. Correct. I know I did find there was a video about that as well that someone came up with, but the White Sox hire Will Venable as the new manager after the MLB record of the 121 loss to the Chicago White Sox. Now, this here, and again, I don't know if it makes a ton of sense, is the Chicago White Sox have decided who will take over at the dugout that just experienced one of the worst seasons in Major League Baseball history. The team is hiring former Major League outfielder Will Venable, currently the associate manager of the Texas Rangers behind Bruce Bochy, as their next manager. Now, not bad as far as, because Bochy comes in, obviously he had a couple with San Fran as far as World Series championships. Then he had the one last year as he came in with the Rangers, won a World Series there. So not bad so far. But MLB.com Scott Merkin reports that Venable will replace Pedro Grifol, who was fired in August. That was horrible. I mean, when you have one game that was on national TV, and it was between 7 to 12 fans, you can't even turn the lights off during the day. Like, you couldn't even put the sun down, pull some phony curtain down, and make it seem like you would have had better success with putting COVID figurines out there at, Guaranteed Rate Park or whatever they want to call it. It was just that kind of season for the Chicago White Sox. But the news broke Tuesday night on Venable's birthday. It also broke right after the New York Yankees Game 4 win over the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series. So never let it be said that the White Sox didn't make big headlines during the 2024 Fall Classic. Venable, 42 years old, played 967 games across 9 years with the San Diego Padres, Texas Rangers, and the Los Angeles Dodgers over a 9-year MLB career, building a reputation as a great clubhouse presence even when he was working as a fourth outfielder. After his playing days came to an end, Venable joined the Chicago Cubs as a special assistant to then team president Theo Epstein. The next 3 seasons, he served as base coach for the team. In 2021, Venable was a bench coach for the Boston Red Sox. He then joined Bochy's Ranger staff in 2022. Venable became a World Series champion in 2023 when the Rangers won the Commissioner's Trophy for the first time in franchise history. Now, what can he do for the White Sox? Well, Venable won't find such a warm start on the south side of Chicago, to say the least. We don't need to run, though. Every little ignominy with the White Sox suffered in 2024, but it boils down to losing the most games in Major League Baseball history with a 41-121 record that featured 3 losing streaks of at least 12 games. One of those was 21 games long, tying an American League record. Every facet of the White Sox was a disaster in 2024. Their lineup, it scored the fewest runs in Major League Baseball with 507, nearly 100 fewer than the next worst Miami Marlins. Their base running, bottom 10 in the league by Fangraphs base running runs metric. Their rotation, it ranked 25th in Major League Baseball in ERA, 4.62, despite 2 good arms in Gary Crotchet and Eric Fetty. And their bullpen ERA was 3rd worst in Major League Baseball at 4.73. Their fielding, dead last in defensive runs saved at -87. So Venable has a lot of work to do, but he can also only do so much when the people most responsible for the Sox 2024 season are still in place, which is absolute truth. Jerry Reinsdorf still owns this team and almost certainly can't expect to spend the money it would take to turn the franchise into a regular contender. And general manager Chris Getz has been a key part of the team's front office since 2017. Still, Venable can do some good by maintaining a positive clubhouse as the team embraces for a rebuilding year. Now, with that being said, it is going to be a long, tenuous building year, maybe years in plural there for the Chicago White Sox and for the South Side, because you weren't selling out, number one. Seeing what the White Sox didn't do much of the year prior, Will Venable was going to have one hell of an uphill ride with this team. How he's going to be able to bounce them back without having the budget, without having the finances is beyond me. I'm not too sure, but we'll find out by a lot of folks. Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? I don't get it. I don't understand it, but it will make a ton.
I sent you the song, by the way.
I really...
Listen, Penguin AC said play it. Guys, I think we should play this. If you guys think so, you should comment in. But
okay. Here, listen to what I'm telling you right now.
Through Messenger.
No, I get it. I'm just telling you this right now. If this turns out to be really bad,
it's a good song, I promise.
I'm just telling you right now. If this turns out to be really bad, not only will you never be back on the show again, so you better put your faith behind this thing, because I got a funny feeling this is going to be a train wreck.
It sounds good. It actually doesn't sound bad. See,
right.
Penguin AC says yes, play it.
All right, just for Penguin AC, I'm going to play it just for him. Why do I feel a train wreck coming? Okay, this is by Dylan and his AI song to the legacy of Dale Earnhardt. Oh, brother. All right, Jesus. All right, here we go.
Out in Carolina, under the southern sun, a man named Dale Earnhardt, the race had just begun. Born to drive fast with a heart full of fire. In every turn and twist, we chase that high wire. From the short tracks of Conopolis to Daytona's Grand State, he carved out a legacy through passion in the race. In his black 03, he ruled the high banks, the Intimidator spirit, and victory he drank. Oh, Dale, you're still burning bright in the memories of the night. With your fearless drive and legendary fight, you taught us how to live life right. Every Sunday morning, with the Bible in his hand, then off to the races, fuel on command. With fans in the bleachers and dreams on the line, he crossed that finish time after time. On that fateful day, the final lap drew near. He left us with heartache and a push here. But legends never die, they're just set free. In the roar of engines, your spirit, with spirit we see. Oh, Dale, you're still burning bright in the memories of the night. With your fearless drive and legendary fight, you taught us how to live life right. On that fateful day, the final lap drew near. He left us with heartache and a push here. The legends never die, they're just set free. In the roar of engines, your spirit we see. Oh, Dale, you're still burning bright in the memories of the night. With your fearless drive and legendary fight, you taught us how to live life right. Oh, 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 oh. Taught us how to live life right. Oh, oh, oh.
It's not bad. It's not horrible.
It's not horrible, but you also, when you're going to put something together to have AI sing it, make sure that you listen back to it, because he should have said Canapolis.
I know he said. What did he say?
Canapolis. What the hell is a Canapolis? Jesus. Even the late great Dale Earnhardt is probably turning his grave right now. Like, turn it off, will you? I probably lost half my freaking audience when it comes to it.
Listen, it wasn't horrible. I mean, actually, the beat sounded decent, like the riff. I don't know.
Yeah, the riff and the beat, I'll give it to you. Everything else, no. You're ready to freaking.
I don't know who that singer was too. I'm not too sure.
I think the FCC just fined me too for playing that. Good Lord Almighty!
It was a good song though.
Okay, all right.
I love how he said he had a Bible in his hand and then off to the races.
Right? What? Okay. First of all, what in God's green earth were you doing? Apparently, on that Sunday, you had nothing else better to do to come up with this stuff. Holy Jesus! I want people to understand. This is what I deal with. Go ahead.
I did an AI class. I made other songs too.
Well, okay. How hard is it? Oh, hold on. The jokes write themselves. How hard is it, or what kind of learning lesson do you get out of friggin' AI?
It's a writing technologies class.
Okay.
I'm passing it right now. I got 100 on
it. What? Okay. Come on. Really? It's AI. You should have it 100, because who's not doing the work? Not you. It's AI. Holy Jesus.
Listen, I thought that was a good song, but I can make literally anything. Like, I could probably make a song about Duncan Dad if I wanted to now.
Listen, I don't think Duncan Dad wants to be insulted. I don't think he wants to be insulted that way. Gas from guy even says, Dylan, come on, bro, you can do better than that. So see, listen, I played it. I'm just letting you know. And Rick says, what's next? Save a horse, ride a cowboy? Good Lord.
Here, I'll make it right now.
No, thank you. Captain guys, by the way, the beat is about the only thing that was good. See, listen, you're getting a kudo from that book. Oh my God.
I'm happy that the beat was good.
It was catchy. It's a catchy beat. I will give you that much. This is where, when usually you hear the term jump the shark, this is where a lot of people are going to say where the actual show Jump the Shark now was with that Dale Earnhardt theme music.
You're right. I got the Duncan Dad. It's called the Duncan Dad from New Jersey song.
No, thanks. Gaspam guy says, did he say he was an AI class? Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
I'm it's a writing technologies class.
Listen, it's all good. Well, I know I won't say it. I could have made fun about somebody, but God forbid, in this world, which is going to be decided November 5th. But listen, you got to come up with something better. I'm not going to play it, by the way. Whatever you come up with the next time around, I'll listen to it and maybe throw it out on social media. But holy crap.
This is a great song. You're going to like, I mean, come on, this is actually really good.
No, I'm done with your stuff here. Anyways, the New York, listen, I'm not playing it. New York Yankees last night ended up winning. They turned things around finally for one game. Good to see the Yankees obviously trying to extend the series here. To win 3 in a row and force a game 7 will be an extreme tough task to be able to do so. But the Yankees, Aaron Judge, for some reason, just went, and this is why Major League Baseball, it is a complete different beast, yet alone for every major league sport. Come to playoffs, you could be the hottest ticket coming into the playoffs, and then all of a sudden just have this crazy dramatic dry spell. Aaron Judge, who has been basically cold, and I mean absolutely cold at the bat, unless more bats come alive like they did for the Yankees tonight, this would be for the Dodgers to close this out in New York. Now, I will say, I'm quite sure there's a lot of Dodgers fans that would absolutely love for the Dodgers to go back to LA so they can celebrate amongst the crowd out there in LA. So I don't, for no means that I believe that obviously the Dodgers were trying to throw one or throw 2 games in order to be able to play it back in LA. But listen, LA, you guys might be getting ready to party here. I mean, I thought the Yankees would end up winning their 27th, I believe. But it may those dreams may be coming out a little bit short, but nonetheless, Yankees end up getting hot last night, 11-4 win over the Dodgers. Still, if it continues if there is a forced game 7, which everybody and anybody who you speak to are the two best words in any vocabulary, it will be one of those unusual times that the World Series will be played in November. And if you really think about it, now the season, when you're talking about spring training, which starts in February, runs all the way till November. So if you're part of the Yankees organization or the Dodgers organization, I mean, yeah, you're hoping that one of these two obviously are going to walk away with the championship, but then you start doing all the media appearances when you know, to all the different networks that are out there. You go out there and do the tour. And it's about a month's worth of stuff you go out there. So by the time you get some rest, it would end up being late December. And then January, you're getting yourself mentally prepared as you get ready to report back at camp. Now, for the Phillies, I'm pretty sure we'd love to be down there at Clearwater all over again. And the Threshers had just put out a tweet not too long ago, a couple days ago, I believe. Yep. They can't wait for the bats to come alive down there at Baycare Ballpark. They did do the repairs, the necessary repairs, after Milton, so they do have the ballpark back up and running. But listen, the Yankees, would you see, Dylan, and it's extremely hard to do, but could you see this going a game 7? I doubt it, but can you see it happening?
I mean, I don't think it's going to go game 7. I think the Dodgers, I could see it go game 6 for sure. I think the Yankees could definitely grab tonight's game after kind of finding some momentum last night. But I do think the Dodgers will find a way to win the series within the next 2 games. I think they will probably win it in LA. But I mean, you just don't know. I mean, the Dodgers may just say, hey, listen, let's just try to get this series over with and defeat the Yankees tonight. They may want to try to do it at home in LA. It's been a while since the Dodgers have won a World Series in LA. I can't remember the last time they have. I think it was back in like the 80s. So I don't know. We'll see kind of how they play tonight. Obviously, the series flips back over to Los Angeles on Friday. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see. I mean, again, I think the Yankees are kind of down and out at this point. I mean, you know, I kind of expected them to at least grab one game in the series, but you know, with them already down 3-1, it's looking like this could be a Dodgers World Series win. So I'm, you know, not surprised. I'm actually happy for the Dodgers. I'm happy for Ohtani. He's going to finally get a ring that he definitely deserves. He's one of the best players in baseball right now. So
now, I don't know if you're about to get hammered here on the phone, but on the line is Gas Pump Guys. He joins us down here from Fort Myers. Gas Pump Guy, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing just fine, although I was going into a commercial break so I can clean out my ears from whatever it was that we just played not so long ago, Dylan's AI version of Dale Earnhardt. I'd love to get your thoughts on which. And listen, I don't want anybody ever to say that I don't give anybody any kind of crazy opportunity with some goofy song, but the tunes, as far as the riff and stuff, the beat, yeah, I'll give it to Dylan. Song, not so much. But what say you there, Gas Pump Guy?
No, I'll give him the beat, the tune, the riff. I'll give him all that, but man, you gotta come out with something better. I mean, AI, you're in a class for AI, Dylan? Come on, man. You're better than that, buddy. Come on.
I just made the song for Duncan Dad, and actually it sounded really, really good. So I'm gonna have to send that to him. Duncan Dad, if you can, I'll send it to you, and I got you covered.
I did remember hearing Angel say that if the song wasn't good, that, you know, we might have to say bye-bye to Dylan.
And it's listen, and you guys thought I was goofing around when I said he was going to be fired at the end of this show. And listen, you seal your own fate there, buddy, because that's your thing. And yet I'm going to be working with this guy.
It wasn't that bad.
Now, if you can make it like Jimmy the Beef Guy type of stuff, then then you might have something there.
That's kind of what the Duncan Dad one I just listened to sounded like. So.
Jesus. And okay, so in all seriousness, Dylan, what is this class pretty much in detail? What do you guys actually do?
It's kind of complicated, to be honest.
Jesus. Here we go. Why do I ask?
You're supposed to make it easy, and you're over here saying it's complicated. That's not.
No, it is an easy class. I got an A 100% on it right now. It's basically more about completion of assignments. But anyways,
Wait. So they're doing stuff with you like they do with the high schoolers and middle schoolers, and basically all you have to do is show up and you get an A. Come on, man.
Kind of. It's like if as long as I did a decent amount of work in the class, like, and I did a good job on the assignment, he gives me a completion grade, basically.
Wow. GBG, we got it. We need to go back to college.
By the way, there's only 5
guess.
people. It's only 4 people plus me in the class, so there's only 5 people in the class.
But yeah, I wonder why. So,
He said that the class. He said that it started up late for sign up, so he couldn't get a ton of people in.
okay. All right. Listen.
You should have signed up. We could have been classmates together.
All right. As long as you're learning something, I feel like I'm losing about 20 minutes of my life here with this stuff. But anyways, go ahead with the detailed version of what this class is supposed to be all about.
So basically, it's about how you are able to use AI in terms of like writing, like in terms of like your everyday, like, if that makes any sense.
Listen, the problem that I have with AI, right? Because before, it's like the one thing with life is that when you meet people, especially when you're on the dating scene, the whole thing is you're supposed to be, at least attracted to something, right? Whether it's writing, whether it's poetry, whether it's a person, whatever. There's something, the reason why you pique your curiosity is because there is something that you like, that you see, and you want to find out more about. Now, with that being said, it's now to the point, and there was a commercial that was out there not too long ago, and I don't even know why this company ended up doing it. But basically, this guy was like, I don't have to put in work. All I have to do is just type this in, type that in, and then we're ready to go. AI could be, for certain things, could it be useful? Yes. But now a lot of these folks that work for these companies, I mean, if you don't know how to write a sentence, number one, that's piss poor, because grammar should still be a part of it, just like the English vocabulary. But because now we're making things even more dumbered down, and by putting AI in there, I mean, you can literally ace anything, anywhere, because instead of you putting your personal thoughts behind something, then you're going to let AI do so. Like the other day, I had Jeremiah Dickerson, and he's been on the show before. He's getting ready to launch his career with Team Global Select coming up here in 2025. But he asked me to put a review for him over on LinkedIn, and I did, that comes from the heart. But for anybody else, if you work, I don't care if you work for a Fortune 500 company, if they hire you because they believe, bless you, that they believe what you write is yours, but only come to find out when you go to a meeting and they find out how you don't actually sound, that's a bad look. So I just want people to understand that if you are going to be a writer, you're going to be a journalist, which we hope we actually get journalists back, real journalists, not the ones that are bought and paid for by Soros money. But if you're going to be an actual journalist, write what you mean. Don't put it behind an AI conversation and spit that out there, because then it's really, really starting to freaking defeat the purpose. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be companies now, just like, when you send a resume into a company somewhere, what they end up doing is they scan your resume just to see if it's actually, they pick up the hot words to see if you're even worth enough for them to have a conversation with you. So the only thing that I'm hoping for as time goes on is that these companies will pretty much start, seeing if what you write is actually you, because you have to show yourself in an interview. So I just hope that some of this stuff is going to be really out of hand. The same way with some of the robots that Elon Musk is making, which is getting to be a little on the scary side as well. I don't know how many people are into like all these robots and everything else taking over, but the autonomous vehicles are one thing. But now, I mean, he's making these robots look like iRobot from Will Smith. It's going to be a little nuts.
Yeah, it's getting kind of crazy out there. I don't want to say I'm scared of all this robot stuff, but it makes you think on, what's it going to be like in like 5, maybe even 2 years from now, how much stuff is going to change with all the technology and stuff that we have nowadays. It's like you said, Angel, it's just making people lazier. That pretty soon people aren't even going to be doing their own thoughts on stuff. They're just going to be doing AI, and nothing's going to be personal anymore. And that's a horrible way for this generation and that's growing up to learn that. Like when we were younger, we communicated with each other, and now you got people communicating over the phone, over the Instagram, over Facebook. You never know who you're talking to, and you never know if what they're saying is really them saying.
You don't. As Joey B says, what would a robot of Fuji do? Who knows? Other than yell and scream about the Eagles, who the hell knows? But no, you're right, Gaspon guy, because that's the problem. There's no one. You go to a lot of these restaurants. Listen, God bless Gen Zers. God bless. And I'm not saying every single one of them, so I don't want people to think that I'm picking on a, because don't forget, my generation too, you have people, they're just shy. And then you had the nerd herd like myself when we were in high school that we wouldn't talk to girls, but Lord knows that we all would get together and talk about stuff. But the problem is that all these, I understand people like to go on dating apps. I get it. I understand it. If you live a busy lifestyle, I'll get it. But when you meet that person in person, and you can see it almost any given show, for those who don't know, I'll watch like TLC, 90 Day After, The Single Life, whatever, because it cracks me up how people in the art of communication are pretty much gone. And what I mean by that is that when you meet this person in person and you wrote all this stuff, I don't care if it's Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, anywhere else, whatever freaking platforms you guys go to as far as to meet and talk to people, when you meet that person in person, they're going to figure out, like, is that really the person I was talking to? Or is that either AI or someone else writing messages? Because the art of communication has really, really gone away. It makes, to me, absolutely no sense. You have to, and Dylan, I'm not knocking you, so don't think I'm knocking you because of the AI thing. No, you're nice enough to explain it to us what you guys are doing. I just don't want the art of communication to be gone, because it should always be. And I know a lot of companies are doing interviews via the video, but to me, being with that person firsthand, one-on-one, is going to be a lot different. Just like there's places that I'll email, and I don't get for the life of me with some folks. It's like, actually either read the email or how about we set up a time where we can either talk over the phone or meet? Because what's happening now with a lot of people, they'll go by, like, they don't like something in the email because they don't know either how to read it correctly or don't put out the time to say, let me talk to this person. It's getting to be to the point of, when will it stop? Like, find out a way. Even if anything, maybe the colleges need to have a sit down, get together and explain to people, here's how we used to talk before before phones and everything else came around, because it's getting to be really bad. And then the little ones that are coming across now, how many videos that are out there that you'll see the mom and dad hand them a tablet or hand them a phone, off they go. So anything they learn is through social media, especially through YouTube. So I don't know. I think just the art of communication, it's gone. It really friggin' just blows my mind. Let me get back to this one here where Joey B says, what would a robot of Dylan do at Toronto Blue Jays spring training games? I'll answer that one. The robot wouldn't do as good of a job as what Dylan does. And again, I'm not saying it because the guy's with me. I've heard his work. Or am I incorrect there, Dylan?
No, I would definitely do a much better job. By the way, I got your text, by the way. I did make the Nick Sirianni, Angel Martinez country blues song. So
okay, I'll play that after the show. I don't think I want to kill any more people on their listening ears, God forbid, as they tune in. I'm surprised I'm not getting hammered even more here. As you guys can, by the way, you guys can make your comments here live on our social medias, of course, 727-858-6650. We have Gaspon Guy on the line here. Joey B says, LOL, Angel coming clean this AM with the reality show addictions, guilty pleasures. Listen, it's true. The same, Joey, you're right there with me. Below Deck on Bravo Channel. Yep, I'm right there. I absolutely love that show. I love it because you talk about communication. It is, I guess you can't really say a boat wreck, but it is a train wreck. And Joey, I don't know if you saw the one that's coming up now where apparently it may have already happened, but they get on this other cruise ship type deal, whatever you want to call it. And they, not a cruise ship, sailboat, excuse me. They're on a sailboat and apparently they didn't anchor it properly and it runs into another sailboat. But who would have also thought either that your normal actors used to pay for all these years to watch on a big screen and everything else, they started going away. Why? Because reality TV came in. And some of it, obviously, a lot of it, for the most part, is scripted. But some of the other shows, when they first start out, take a look at, for example, Survivor. 47th season. Over, 20 years on TV. It's absolutely nuts. Joey B says, Below Deck sailing is great. Captain Glenn is hilarious. He is. And who's all right, Joey B? Now that we're going kind of back and forth on this, what is not the engineer, the first mate? He's always getting it. He gets into it with the what's her name? If you guys have not watched it, Below Deck, you guys, I mean,
Lieutenant Dan, the guy from
no, not Lieutenant Dan. Gary, there you go.
I like Captain Lee and Captain Sandy.
Yeah, listen. Speaking of that's a good point, Gaspam guy, because Captain Sandy, she gives you, man. You talk about so does the other captain as well. But Captain Sandy is more. She's more of willing to give you a shot to pretty much redeem yourself. Because Captain Lee is the same way too, but Captain Lee gets more annoyed. He's quick to pull the trigger because he always gives. The one thing I will say about every single captain on Below Deck is all of them always go back to the person in charge of that department and tell them, hey, by the way, here's what you guys end up needing to do. Here's what you guys end up needing to do as far as go back, talk to the people in your department, and then figure out what you guys need to do with said person. Gary and Daisy. Thank you, Joey B. Because those two always get into it as well. And by the way, Bravo, you guys are welcome as we're talking about the shows here. But it is a guilty pleasure show, but they do a good job about it. I mean, we're hooked on it. The same way with TLC. We just started watching the other day the 1,000-Pound Friends or 1,000-Pound Life, whatever it is. We just, by accident, we started watching that thing, and it wasn't actually too bad. Because the one girl, she absolutely loses it with her friends because they weren't there to support her, I guess, but they said she was bossy. But no, listen, Below Deck, I think it's a great show. And this is all thanks to Dylan's, by the way, song. That's why we're all getting into this right now. But
yeah.
Anyways,
and I
moving
just
on.
over the Nick Sirianni song. So
Yeah, okay, good. I'll play it after the show. I'm not killing the audience again. I'm not doing it.
It's actually good. It's country blues.
Okay, good. Yeah, country blues my ass. How about I play it after the show's over? I'm not getting freaking. I'm not dealing with your stuff. Not again. God almighty. Like these guys are gonna be like, I'm never listening to the show again. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, and we're just not getting it going.
Exactly.
Listen, if this content doesn't get it going, I don't know what will. So.
Well, again, we'll all find out after the show's over. I'll share it with everybody else, but I'm not gonna freaking.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Now, before I end up spinning off a little bit, as we were talking about the Yankees beforehand here, the one thing which I don't understand, and I'm glad at Major League Baseball, yet alone they did arrest that one fan. How in the world? And I love how people want to talk about Philly all the time. New York, you guys did not look good on national TV yesterday because of a Yankees fan who interfered with Mookie Betts with the ball in his hand and then basically trying to rip his hand off just to be able to take to take the ball away, yet alone in his glove, which makes absolutely no sense. And I'm going to bring it up here as long as it doesn't go into an ad. But this to me made absolutely no sense. And I'm glad that Major League Baseball did something about it because how much are you going to let the fans get away with? And again, New York, this is not my problem. This is your problem. You guys figured this one out. But here was a play in case you guys missed it. This just pretty much blew my mind.
Afraid to throw. Wide right by Torres. Betts in the corner. Does he have room? Fights with the fan. And they're going to say that it's an out and fan interference. So an out, one gone in this first. And yeah, Betts has that ball in his glove, and this fan literally tries to take his glove off. Pries the ball out of there. A for effort. Well, he won't be watching the game much longer.
He sure won't. It just doesn't make any freaking sense to me. I don't get how in the world they allowed for this stuff to happen. I really, really don't. It's got to get a little bit better than that. And not only that, but obviously shame on a Yankee fan there who decided to do that nonsense because you put someone and truthfully could have been a really bad situation. And it's not fair to Mookie Betts. I understand, he may not be loved in New York. There's not a lot of teams that are loved in New York, but that just to me was absolutely insane. You could have hurt it, Mookie Betts. I mean, it's just that whole situation, which made no sense to me whatsoever. It really weren't of, and I can't, for some reason, escape out of this one. There we go. Finally. Goodness gracious. escape
that
out
just
of it.
kind of goes to the point, Angel, that everybody nowadays think that they deserve stuff. So if it comes to the stands, they think, oh, it's a home run. I deserve this ball, even if the player can make a play on it. You're not supposed to do stuff like that. And that's sad that this is where the baseball fan is. And I'm not saying all of them, so don't everybody come and attack me on the text line. But wasn't there one last year during the World Series or during the playoffs or something where a guy tried to grab the ball, he reached over the wall and tried to grab the ball and take it out of play?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, come on, guys.
It's insane. Honest to God, it really is insane. Now let me see if I can get the if I have here, because they'll show they're going to show the two fans that were escorted out, and they should have, and again, should have been more than escorted out, because me personally, I think they should have been in jail for that matter, because there's certain things you just don't do. And I'm not saying this, to be an obscene jerk or anything else like that. You just end up doing it. Joey B, by the way, says those two guys are jerks. Absolutely true. He says they deserve to be kicked out of the Yankees game and get in the stadium for 1 year. And good on Mookie Betts for not making it a bigger deal. And it's true, because it is harder as an MLB player to make it harder. But here's also the follow-up video. This is them being escorted out of Yankee Stadium. And they should be, me personally, it should be more than a year. I think you should be banned for life, because it doesn't make any sense. Make good choices, people. You guys hear me saying this all the time. But here's a follow-up video. Of course, you get the one guy that decides he wants to hug him because he thinks he did something smart there, which is it's classless and dumb. Period. It's one of the reasons, many of the reasons why I'm not a Yankees fan, because when you buy championships, it doesn't make you a championship contender team. And people can argue with me forever about that one, but it's just dumb. It's dumb. It's classless. It doesn't make any freaking sense. All right, I'm going to take my final time out here. Of the morning. We have about 15 and some change left before the end of the show. Dylan, are you just self-entertaining yourself? Like what's going on there?
I'm scrolling through Twitter.
Of course you are. All right.
He's waiting for the Jimmy the Beef Guy song to come on so he can dance.
Probably so. You're probably right about that one, Gaspam Guy. All right. We're going to take a break here, and I apologize for the song that you guys had to sit through for about 2.5 minutes, but Penguin AZ, I did it for Penguin AZ because he did say play it. But the only thing I will give to Dylan is just a beat and a riff. That's about it. Everything else, especially when a guy can't even say Canapolis. Holy Christ. Poor Dale Earnhardt, man. That guy's spinning in his grave. Unbelievable. All right, don't forget you guys can call or text the show here, 727-858-6650. Make your comments here live on social medias. Don't forget you can always download the app by visiting sr1029thegame.com. And honestly, no, this show is normally not a train wreck, but thanks to Dylan and his comedic ways, it ended up being partial train wreck. So we'll be back right after this. You're listening to Martinez Company here live on the Coastal Sports Network and Sports Radio 102.9 FM The Game. We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jimmy the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our second location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu.
Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced Chardonnay.
Phil Castanetti Sports World in Saugus, Massachusetts is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. For over 35 years, Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectibles. Last month, you might remember Tim Thomas, legendary Bruins goalie, returned on October 5th. What a turnout it was. And now a new event coming up. On Saturday, November 30th, it's Willie O'Ree, yes, the original Jackie Robinson of the National Hockey League. He'll be signing autographs to the public, $25 each. There'll be photos, pucks, and cards available phone orders are welcome. Just call 781-233-7222 for more information. Sports World in Saugus. Be there.
Ion Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, iontp.com. Ion Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Ion Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class, let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home. Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill? Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
All right, welcome back. Welcome. The final few minutes here of Martinez Company live from Sports Radio 102.9 FM, the game here in Tampa. Of course, the beautiful state of the free state of Florida as well. We thank you guys for tuning in here this morning. Thank you for making your comments here live on the social medias, along with texting in your comments as well. A couple of people have sent me texts and said, Dylan needs to be gone. And listen, sorry, buddy. I don't know what else to tell you, but it happens. I get it. I understand it. But thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, later on in the evening, you'll have Bees World from 6 to 7 p.m. And then followed by that, we'll be talking hoops. Unless there is a change in the lineup, I will announce it to everyone here on the social medias. But Rich will not be on for the remainder part of the week. He is traveling. So you guys probably won't see him. And it's a good possibility he may not be on next week, but he is always involved in boxing, which is his livelihood. He absolutely loves. So he's getting good calls. And obviously from being on radio for 20 plus years, it could be a good possibility. He may get pulled into another stratosphere when it comes to boxing, but I know he will be as far as on his boxing assignment this week. And of course I say that lightheartedly because we hope he's back here come next week. But hey, boxing is definitely his love. And so we wish Rich a good week for the boxing travel. I know it's kind of tough. He mentioned it last week. He had a couple places to go to. So it's always good for Rich to be able to do exactly what he loves. All right. One thing before I get into a little NASCAR to end the show with, but Blake Griffin is in discussions with Amazon, NBC, and I believe the only two right now for an NBA analyst role. And this was after retiring from the NBA this year. Blake Griffin is emerging as a top target for multiple TV networks, one being Amazon, the other being NBC, and they're both in talks to bring him on board. That it was reported from Front Office Sports' Michael McCarthy. Griffin played 15 years in the NBA after becoming the number one overall pick out of Oklahoma, where he was a National Player of the Year and consensus All-American. He spent most of his career in LA with the Clippers, winning Rookie of the Year and making 5 All-Star appearances between 2009 to 18 with the franchise before heading to the Detroit Pistons. So I think I wouldn't mind him actually as an NBA analyst. Dylan, I know your thoughts, but I think he'd actually be good.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think it'd be a lot of fun to see Blake Griffin. He's obviously a guy who had a lot of success early on in his career. Injuries caught up to him a little bit, as do with a lot of big men. But I mean, Blake Griffin was one of the better Clipper players in the last 20 years. So yeah, I would be excited to see him join. I also have some other news to report as well. According to Action Network, sources are saying that the Florida-Georgia game, which is obviously going to happen this weekend, will be played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta next year and Raymond James Stadium in 2027, which is a big deal. So one of the biggest college football games, arguably in terms of rivalries of the season, is potentially going to be played in Tampa in 2 years. So that's a very exciting news to report that I just saw on Twitter a little bit ago.
That is very exciting. It would also, on that too, Dylan, as we rebuild here from Helene to Milton, but I'm wondering how, by December, they'll be able to kind of get the beaches a little bit back to normal because obviously the Reliant Quest Bowl was played here in Tampa, along with a couple other bowl games as well.
Yes,
I don't think, and I know Camping World is another big host of one of the bowl games as well, last year being the Pop-Tart Bowl, but I would think that they really want to have the teams down here because one is, obviously teams vie to play for a bowl championship, but a lot of them love coming here to the Tampa area because one team usually gets to stay in Tampa. The other one gets to stay in Clearwater, so they get to enjoy the beach time down here. But I mean, Clearwater is working very diligently to try and get things going. They opened up the beaches yesterday at 11 o'clock, so we're hoping that people will come back down. But I know you and I last year, we covered the Reliant Quest Bowl. Hopefully we'll be doing it again this year, which was a lot of fun. But I just hope they're able to get the beach back to where it needs to be so we don't lose any of the bowl games here locally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't excuse me, I don't think that they will lose any of the bowl games. I see the games still happening. Hopefully by January, late December, we'll hopefully be able to get to see these games being played at Ray J. It's good for the infrastructure for the area. I mean, think about how many fans flood in to go to these games. It's during the holidays, so a lot of people are going to travel.
Correct.
So I think it's going to be big. Obviously, I was at both bowl games last year. I won tickets to go to the Gasparilla Bowl. That was a lot of fun. It was UCF and Georgia Tech. Unfortunately, obviously those two teams, easy travel for them. But I mean, in the other game, it was LSU and Wisconsin. That was a very exciting game. So, and this year is looking like we may get some really, really good teams, depending on how the rest of the season goes for teams like Alabama and such. With now the new college football playoff format, it makes it a little bit more intriguing for some of these other bowl games, to see who will get in terms of the teams. So I'm looking forward to seeing who may come to the ReliaQuest Bowl. Obviously, there's the Cheez-It Bowl in Orlando with the Pop-Tart Bowl. So it's a lot of action going on in terms of college football, usually during the holidays. Obviously, hopefully we'll be at some of the games and getting to cover it, and it should be a lot of fun.
It should be. I hope so, because I really want them to make sure to continue playing the bowl games here, the rich history of it in the area. Two updates before the last one that I want to get into as far as NASCAR. Gerard Mayo, apparently he has an injury update for their quarterback status with Drake May. This was told reporters that quarterback Drake May will be limited participant in Wednesday's practice. With May returning to practice, that would indicate he has a shot to play in this Sunday's Week 9 road contest against the Tennessee Titans, who are 1-6. May remains in concussion protocol stemming from the hit to the head he took at the past Sunday's win, 25-22 over the Jets. So that seems to be the latest there. He says that Mayo said he didn't initially see warning signs that May had a concussion. It was called down from the league. Mayo said on WEEI's The Greg Hill Show on Monday they wanted to further evaluate. When I went there, when he went into half, he wanted to go back out there, but obviously he didn't pass the test and not going to get too far into that. But at the same time, he went out there and threw a couple of good balls after, I guess, supposedly put him in the protocol. So that was the latest with Drake May. So he will be a limited participant in today's practice. And then Colts head coach Shane Steichen clarifies the QB decision between Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco going forward. The Indianapolis Colts announced the decision to bench starting quarterback Anthony Richardson for backup Joe Flacco on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, Coach Steichen said and provided a little more information on the decision. Steichen said that Flacco will be the starter going forward, indicating this is not a temporary decision. According to a report from Mike Chappell of Fox 59, Steichen noted that he was not giving up on Richardson, the second-year quarterback who has struggled so far this offseason, and he also noted that the decision to bench Anthony Richardson was his call. Richardson will now serve as the team's primary backup. The former Florida Gator quarterback has flashed at times, but he drew the ire of fans and analysts alike by taking himself out of the game this past weekend due to fatigue. Flacco, who played well when spelling Richardson as a sophomore, quarterback, dealt with the injuries earlier this season, will have to have another shot leading the team. So listen, again, it's just not a good look. You are in the NFL. You are a major league athlete, and then you decide, I'm out. It's such a bad look. So it's upon him. Now, the same way with Bryce out there in Carolina, this kid has really been going through it. And then pretty much Carolina walks up to him and tells him, hey, by the way, what do you think about being traded? I mean, listen, maybe a new look would be good for him. Maybe it'll resurrect his career.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that BJ Daniels would want to give up on him. But again, it's not ultimately, obviously, his decision. It comes in the front office. And whatever. Brian Flores apparently defended Anthony Richardson, timing himself out. But whatever. It's more like a Joel Embiid situation where even that's driving me nuts. Then the last thing I want to get into here is Kevin Harvick predicts that Hendrick Motorsports outlook for Martinsville championship hopes. Now, this came through about an hour or so ago. Duncan Ed says fatigue for an elite athlete. Yeah, exactly. I don't believe it either. Kevin Harvick says heading into this weekend's round of 8 finale at Martinsville Speedway, he recognizes Hendrick Motorsports in a precarious position. The team entered the round of 8 with 3 drivers in the mix for the championship 4. And they could end up being shut out of racing for the 2024 Cup Series title at Phoenix if the cards fall a certain way. That being that Kyle Larson, William Byron, and Chase Elliott would have a ton of pressure on them in Virginia, and that's for sure. Ahead of the highly anticipated short track race, Kevin Harvick's happy hour crew tried to make sense of the situation arguably NASCAR's top team finds itself in, and where Hendrick Motorsports will end up after Martinsville. Now, this is coming from Harvick's camp. I don't even know right now. Harvick's co-host Mama Smith said regarding whether one of the two Hendrick cars will make the championship 4. I'm looking at the number 20 with Christopher Bell. A lot of that based off of the number 20. Okay, this is not for me. This is the way it's written here. Like if the number 20 lays an egg and they struggle or they break something early, that points cushion goes away. That just throws everything up in the air. And then they could have 2. But the way it is laid out right now, if the number 20 just does mediocre job, Bell is mediocre, which all signs kind of have in the past, have pointed to that somewhat mediocre, if holy Jesus. You know what? Sometimes people ought to look when they end up writing these articles because it's almost like a play on words. And I feel like a play on idiot as far as reading that. Anyways, Kevin Harvick, to wrap it up, says that he believes that those 3 could be in a bad spot if things go wrong. And if anybody heard me talking about it on Monday, the Netflix special, which showed Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson, for that matter, too, that were out of contention come last year. We hope that it's not the same case coming up this year. Joey B says, I'm tired, so soft, millions and millions of dollars getting paid, and I'm tired, trade him ASAP. Listen, a lot of folks are, again, we pay tons of money to a lot of these guys to hear exactly what's going on. Joey B also follows up with Joe Flacco equals the new Brian Fitzpatrick. He just won't go away, and he will get you wins, LOL. Yep, it's true. He's not going away anytime soon. He really isn't. Gaspam Guy, I know he had to get off the line here, so we appreciate Gaspam Guy for calling in. The last comment that's coming in is from Duncan Dad. Says, the new style of journalism, record conversation, text to speech. Yep.
You forgot my comment, by the way.
No, I'm not forgetting your comment. Smart
What's
guy.
going on, Angel? Me and Larry say hello.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Listen,
He's our newest writer, Larry.
You get 1 in the show, and you got 1 with your music. All right. So yeah, I'm not falling for that one either. So good luck with that one. All right. Anyways, but no, yeah, Duncan Dad, you're right. Listen, there's not many journalists left anymore. Unfortunately, people aren't telling the stories the way they used to. And just go back 3 years and 6 months at this point, 3 years and 7 months. It's funny how certain people will get flashed a lot of money to divide and conquer. And again, everybody knows I never get into politics, but if you look at it, journalists that we used to believe in ABC, I'll just use ABC alone, that used to have integrity. Now, a lot of these people don't even report what the truth is anymore. And so, yeah, it's a shame the way that journalistic ways are going by the wayside. You know, it's incredible to me, but with that being said, we thank you all for tuning in once again to Martinez Company. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody whatsoever. As you guys heard that thing, if you want to hear it again, listen to the replay a little bit later on, but it was a thing provided by Dylan. But Dylan, what is on the slate for you for the rest of your day, sir?
I got to get, I had to get a new battery replaced in my car, so I got to get that situated. I guess the battery's a little bit of a bigger battery, so I got to figure out how to, basically have it put into the car. So regardless of that, nothing much, just getting some work done. I actually am going to be broadcasting a game tonight at PHSC, volleyball action tonight. So tune in, PHSC Athletics, our YouTube page. So you can go watch us there. And then obviously this weekend, I'll be at Daytona. We got HSR action going on. I think I'm going to try to get up there on Friday evening and try to spend the night up there. I got a lot of interviews planned up, or a lot of guys who I want to try to get interviews from. There'll be a lot of interesting individuals, so I'm looking forward to that. And then next week will be kind of a lighter week, and then the week after we got IMSA testing coming up here in 2 weeks. So that's going to be a bit of a wild 2 weeks here for me, and then after that, Formula E gets going. So it's a lot, man. I'm keeping busy over on my side, and obviously I know we're we're going to try to be there for testing. So it should be a lot of fun. So be good.
Yeah, it should be. By the way, Penguin EZ says, I am just coming back since Dylan's song. Haha, just kidding. Great show as always, and see you all on Friday for the party. Appreciate it, Penguin EZ. Again, Duncan Dad, Joey B, Rick Marcus, for all you guys who've made your comments. We do appreciate it as always. Thank you for sharing the shows out when you guys possibly can. As it is always greatly appreciated. You can always end up texting the show after it's all said and done. Let us know exactly how we're doing here on the network. So we do appreciate it. Later on, we'll be, as I mentioned, Bees World from 6 to 7 p.m. and then Talking Hoops with Ron Briscoe, Coach Johnson, and Coach Mack, which I'm pretty sure they are going to get into a lot of the WNBA firings. And then the reason why I didn't talk about it today, because I want to make sure they wrap it up for the evening. That'll be the later show here on the network. Thank you guys all for visiting sr1029thegame.com. Download the app. We always appreciate it. And with that all being said, thank you all. We will see you once again on Friday. And don't forget, always take care of yourself, love yourself, and make sure you take care of those who always take care of you. So, Dylan, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said just like Dale Earnhardt did.
Once again, thank you, Dylan, for coming on the show. See this guy at the end of the show, he jumps a shark on the show, but whatever. Anyways, thank you, Dylan. I do appreciate your time. For everyone else, enjoy the rest of your day. Just don't listen to him. Matter of fact, don't even follow him anymore. Just let him go. Nonetheless, but thank you all. I do appreciate it. We'll see you on Friday.